always figured family gatherings could get rowdy, but I never imagined my own turning into a nightmare where my brother's prank left me seeing stars. 1 second I'm blowing out candles on my 34th. The next Jake slamming a massive pie right into my grill with enough force to knock me off my feet. The sticky mess burned my eyes, blood trickled warm and metallic, and his chuckle rang out like he owned the room while everyone else just chuckled along. They swarmed over, but waved it off as harmless fun. My head spun with colors and I forced myself to laugh it off too, staggering up like it was no big deal. But come done. When the doc of the urgent care stared at my scans and muttered something that made my blood run cold, I realized some questions hit way too close to home for a sibling bond. Growing up, I mastered the art of biting my tongue, little jabs, offhand slights, stuff that felt off but got dismissed as nothing. Our household ran on keeping the peace. And I was a rock, the one who didn't rock the boat. Mom always said, "Emily's tough, she rolls with the punches." What she really meant was Jake craved the limelight, and I should fade into the background. He came along 2 years after me, but acted like the golden child, the star we all revolved around. Charismatic, explosive, the type who sucked the air out of any space. Mom beamed when he entered. With me, it was a quick nod like an afterthought. Jake's temper set the vibe for everyone, and Susan, our mom, bent over backward to keep him grinning. Me? I squeezed into the shadows, ignoring the red flags. Like when we were kids, and he accidentally shoved me into the kitchen counter. Or that time in college when he tripped me on the porch steps, muttering klutz under his breath. Or how he volunteered to help with my stuff at reunions, only for everything to end up scattered and broken. Mom's go-to, Emily. Don't blow it out of proportion. Your brother's got your back. So I quit pushing, threw myself into my job, carved out a cozy spot in my Chicago loft, and kept visits short. But Jake had this knack for worming back in snide remarks, playful pokes that turned into punchlines at my expense. The crowd always cracked up except me. Push back, lighten up, Em. He didn't mean it. So on my birthday night, with blood dripping and pie crust blurring everything, I half convinced myself I was the problem. Maybe the throb in my neck was just a fluke, maybe his smirk was just bad vibes, not glee. Maybe the giggles weren't mean, just awkward. I replayed it all the way home, hands shaky on the wheel, telling myself it was typical Jake chaos. But tossing in bed, skull on fire, a gut feeling screamed this wasn't right, and by sunrise, dragging into the clinic, I learned that whisper was my past begging to be heard. Come morning, the pain had cranked up to brutal, every pulse like a sledgehammer to my temple. Light stabbed my eyes, doubling the world, and nausea hit like a truck when I tried standing. I muttered it was nothing, just hydrate and crash. But my body called bullshit. Fingertips brushed the sore spot by my jaw, coming back crusty with old blood. Panic snuck in then. I threw on clothes, leaning on furniture as the floor tilted. Heading to the clinic seemed dumb, but dialing family worse. I could hear Mom sigh. No need for all that fuss, you're prone to bumps, quit the drama. And Jake? He'd snort that easy laugh, shrinking me down. So solo it was. Chicago's clinic buzzed. But the nurse caught my wince of the fluorescence and whisked me to a room fast. When did it start? What happened? Blackout at all? Her questions weighed like bricks. Admitting my brother pied me hard, shouldn't scream emergency. But there I sat, shivering in that flimsy robe. Dr. Patel knocked softly, all professional warmth. Track his pen, grip tight, nose tap, grin, I managed, though the space kept swirling like a bad ride. Scans it is, he said gently. Better safe than sorry. Safe? When had that word fit my crew? The skin room were cold and mechanical, flat on my back, ceiling blurring. I fixated on Jake's face. That flash of triumph in his eyes, I'd brushed it off forever, twisted it into something innocent. But now, had screaming, rolled off kilter, those excuses crumbled. Dr. Patel came back tense, dragged over a chair, spun the scream my way. Emily, he murmured, small crack here, not dire, but legit and not fresh, gut punch. How so? He flipped images, this rib old break, maybe 4 years back from the mend. 4 years the backyard tumble, Jake trailing me, then hugging post-fall, hissing, drama queen, you just lost your footing. My nails bit into the bed as air thinned. Dr. Patel eyed me like gauging my limit, then sighed, grabbed the wall phone, and dropped the bomb that flipped my reality. Gotta flag this, protocol. Protocol meaning grave, not prank, not my head games. He hung up, locked eye steady. Emily, this was no accident. Someone caused it, silence hit hard. Someone caused it echoed over the hallway hum over my throbbing. Pulse asterisk asterisk I'd wasted years owning the guilt, making myself small, chalking up Jake's shadow over every mishap to fate. Mishaps occur, brothers play rough, I'm Butterfingers, but Dr. Patel's gaze shredded those lies. A quiet rap, then a guy entered Detective Ruiz, all composed assurance. Like he'd mapped this maze before. He scooted close, level with me, flipped. Open a pad. Emily, he said softly, your scans flag worries. Mind if I chat? Throat nodded. About Jake, his stare held, about keeping you secure. Weird how those tangled. He started easy. Who showed for the party? Booze involved Jake's spot. Past bumps answers sank like stones. And when he probed if folks talked me out of docks after falls, a dam burst inside, yeah. I breathed my brother. Always, Ruiz jotted, then met my eyes, you buy his excuses. Tough? One, did I? Or Klinkaw's facing facts gutted me? I eyed my shaky fingers. Flashing to Jake icing my side for years back, waving off bills, dubbing me theatrical. To him mocking my garage slip, yelling I needed padding. To him swooping in. To tidy my chaos, always a hero. He liked being my go-to, I murmured, and the one I'd never question. Ruiz nodded. Like it clicked a sad puzzle, door banged wide before more. Mom's voice sliced and precise. Emily Rose Harper. What nonsense are you spinning? She stormed. But Dad trailing, face thunder and dread, Jake absent. But his vibe lingered. A crack from Python, absurd. Say you're mixed up, you mark easy. Always so touchy. Theatrical, overblown words that molded my youth. Now scraping my grown scars, Ruiz rose. Firm but cool, Mrs. Harper, back off, private talk with. Your daughter, Mom's mouth clamped as she shot me daggers, not for Jake's mess. But my mouth, then? A shift hit not shatter. But resolve. First time. I held ground, Mom, I said even. Quake hidden, I'm clear-headed, her glare flared shock. In fury. I pivoted to Ruiz. Let's keep going, asterisk Ruiz jumped on my okay. Herding Mom and Dad out amid her gripes, his vibe screamed no debate. Door shut, air eased. Like ditching Mom's weight unraveled a lifelong snag. He resettled, straight talk, Emily. The repeats you've shared hurts downplayed. Doc dodges its red flags. With Dr. Patel's finds, we're taking it serious. I dipped my head. Truth looming too big to swallow whole. Got the venue cams on request, he added. And chatting up all party folks. Priority, you safe. Feel okay heading home? Stunner, bigger. Then the verdict, safe, sounded like someone else's life. Not sure, I confessed. He eased up. Honest, good. Step 1. Door creaked pre-nex and Clara this round. Lingering till Ruiz waved her in, she edged close. Eyes shiny with buried weight. Emily, she hushed, wish I'd checked sooner. Voice wobbled. Hand icy on mine. Tried your phone last night, she went on. No answer. Gut said trouble. To Ruiz, detective, can I share with you two? Got details. He gestured sit, spill. Clara gulped, seen Jake rough Emily up before. I froze solid. She pressed, quivering, kid dazed but said first tough. To peg, called a brosa spats or oopses, kids wild. But growing, Jake shifted, or I woke up, hands twisted. Watched him boot her down the basement steps once. She was 11-ish, all set slip. But I topped the stairs hard shove, breath snagged. Recalled that drop, Mom chewing me for spoiling pics. With my swollen arm, Jake lingering, sweets and phony sorries. Clara kept on. And 4 years ago, post-grandma's service she drew shaky air. Caught wind at the brownstone. Not direct to you, Em. But Jake raged, overheard him on call. Slips happen if you're out of it. I'd handle it all. Room hushed, Ruiz paused notes. Even, chill raced my back. Clara's tone dropped whisper. Should have spoken up. Feared Susan shutting me out. But post last night, silence ends, Ruiz nodded slow. Appreciate it. Clara, timeline sharpens asterisk. She rose. Emily, updates coming, for now. Clara drives you home, steer clear of your brother till talks wrap. Made sense. Truth. Didn't crave Jake's face till I grasped his real deal. Days blur calls, briefs, quiet stretches in my loft. Clara crashed there, vowing no solo time. I let it slide. Her calm presence cushioned after eggshell ears. Day 3, Ruiz rang. Tapes reviewed, he said. Emily, no doubt intent. Words thrummed, he aimed that pie. Glanced back first, post-fall. Split second smirk pre-fake freakout. I searched, silent. So he rolled, nabbed his device too. Logs of old hits, dates lining your scars, and upcoming tab. Chest squeezed upcoming slots. Solo spots, weak moments. Emily, not random, scheme setups. Felt Clara's palm steady me as I slumped. Charges rolling, he noted. Need you at family sit down Sunday night. Nab Jake there. Shake hit. Why public, cause now. He said, Kin sees raw facts, Sunday rushed. Clara chauffeured to Mom's a spot soaked in brushed asides and twisted recalls inside. Jake lounged yapping, beaming like victory locked, spotted me, sneered, hey. The walking wounded's back, Momsked, Emily, no scenes like. I'd sparked any, pre-reply. Knock boom dining area, Ruiz entered. Pair of badges flanking. Jake Harper. He clipped, cuffed, chaos blew. Mom yelled, insane. Dad shrank ghostly. Clara stiff by me, Jake. Mask melted. Raw edge bared. Joke's on you, he barked too loud. For pie play, Ruiz steady, assault plus proof of harm plots. Ahead, Jake's glare pinned me. Think you're flawless, Deserve that brownstone. Think grandma picked you, just pity. Mom inhaled sharp, Jake. He spiraled live. Babysat her forever. Weak, breakable, and they guilt me for toughness. Ruiz sliced, enough. But Jake surged. Finger jabbing fury, wrecked it all from birth. Boom truth failed in decades of grins, badge moved. Snapping cuffs as he flailed, Mom. Back me, say Emily's. Hyping it. But Susan froze, pallid, eyes ballooning terror unseen before. Maybe finally clocked the beast she shielded. Jake's yell shredded as they hauled him, I stood. Pulse racing, world tilting my way at last. The wrap-up came soft, almost tender. Like life owed me the gentleness I'd missed weeks in, Jake took. A deal overseen release. 4 sessions, solid ban on nearing me, low-key. But solid payback. Real and firm, Mom stayed mute through courts as tapes, logs, ancient hurts aired. She folded inside. One day, she phoned, diving into counseling. Not for him, for me. For blind spots she ignored. Lost for words, I went true. Hope it clicks, the brownstone turned my haven. Fixing it mirrored mending me wall by wall. Echo by echo. Launching. It as the initial spot for the Lydia hub. A spot for folks unpicking family scars. Sparked what childhood stole. Secure, noticed, unbound. Folks preach kin ties mean taking it all. But I get now, true bonds don't gag pain, they guard. Mend, sometimes. That means ditching those who seeded your doubts, still piecing healthy together. Steadying in this surprised liberty. But my tale shows, truth doesn't just shatter. It opens room for brighter if a scar echoes mine. Drop yours below. Crave more true tales. Hit subscribe, you've got company.